Good morning, y'all. It is Georgia from thehappyhensters.com and welcome back to the Henster Kitchen. I have already got the coffee brewing and I have the biscuits in the oven. And now we're getting ready to make sausage gravy. I am going to be cooking this in live time because I want you all to see how quickly it comes together and really take the intimidation out of gravy. The only rule of gravy is that it will never be the same measurements twice, ever. So it's important instead to understand what you're doing, because then you can change it for whatever amount of gravy you're making or whatever kind of gravy you're making. Now I have browned 1/3 of a pound of sausage because I am just doing this for 2 people. You can change that amount for whatever you need. The rule of gravy is however much fat you have, you want an equal amount of flour. So I have browned my gravy until it rendered all that fat out. And now I'm going to add my flour in slowly until this comes to really kind of like a wet sand look. And this is not it. This is still too thin. So I'm probably about 2 tablespoons worth of flour in at this point. But again, like I said, that amount will change based on the gravy, based on the sausage. I'm gonna take just a little bit more. We're about there. So again, this is why I wanted you to see what I'm looking for rather than an actual specific amount. Because then you're going to be able to make your own perfect gravy every single time. Now, there we go. So now we've got a wet sand look. And I'm just stirring around right now to make sure that all of my flour is incorporated with my grease, that there's no lumps of flour remaining. And I'm making sure that I'm just stirring it all around so nothing's sticking, because I want to give it a minute for my flour to cook out. Basically all that means is you're getting rid of that flour flavor. I'm just letting it cook out for just a minute. You can smell the change when it gets there. It's almost, the flour takes on almost a nutty smell. And now here's where the magic starts. You're gonna add your liquid, whether it's milk for your sausage gravy or a broth for a different type of gravy. You want to do a slow, steady stream. Now I kept that stream going until there was no more lumps of the sausage wanting to stick together where the flour was being the binder. And once it started smoothing out and I had some flour, or excuse me, I had some milk just standing in there, then that was my stop point, because I was going to let that cook out just a little. And you can see it's getting too thick. So we're going to need to add some more milk. And now I'm just going to add my milk a splash at a time until I get the consistency that I'm after. You don't want to go too hard and fast with your liquid. That's probably one of the harder things to decide on, is how much liquid do you add. If you go too fast, you end up with water. If you go too slow, you end up with a brick. So I have found that this trick of just the slow, steady stream until everything's smoothed out and there's no clumps remaining and there's a little bit of my liquid still remaining in the pot, and then just add a splash at a time. Okay, so we're getting to what I like for my gravy consistency. I'm gonna turn my stove down. I did have it on a solid medium to begin with while I was browning my flour and thickening it up. And now I'm taking it all the way down to the simmer. I'm gonna add a splash more milk. And you're gonna notice I did not season this up until this point. Depending on what sausage you use, that will greatly depend on how much salt and pepper you need to add. Different sausages have different sodium levels. So I like to get my gravy to the consistency I'm after. Because if I seasoned it, you know, when it first started coming together, now I've added more milk, I would have really watered down my flavors. So by doing it at the end, I can make it just right. Oh, this is looking so pretty. Let's do a taste. Gonna need a good 3-finger pinch of salt. I love a good peppery gravy. So I add in lots of fresh black pepper. Stirring everybody together. Going to take one more pinch of salt, and then I think we're going to be perfect. There it is. That's it, guys. It is that simple. I'm gonna turn that heat off, and I'm gonna call my kid to come have some breakfast with me. I love you all. I hope you enjoy this. Try it. Put my video on beside you while you're doing it so you can see the different stages that the gravy's gonna go through, and you're gonna know exactly what to do and exactly when to do it. Don't be intimidated. You can do this. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.